Hey, this is Max from Abstract Automation. I've gotten 3 calls in the past 2 weeks from users that got locked out of their Zoho accounts. Now, let me show you what to do if this happens to you, as well as how to avoid it in the first place. Let's break it down. Okay, so first let me describe how you can get yourself into this situation. It seems to be pretty common. What happens is when you log into Zoho, it often will prompt you to try to get you to set up multi-factor authentication or MFA. And if you don't pay attention to what you're clicking on, you'll accept the setup of MFA, but then the user does not complete the full process of setting up that two-factor or multi-factor authentication and kind of ignores it. And then they end up being in this sort of purgatory where they can't get into Zoho with their normal password alone, and they haven't yet gone through the full MFA multi-factor authentication setup process, and they kind of get stuck and getting out of it can be a little tricky. So what I want to show you here is I'm going to log into an instance of Zoho. And by the way, I'm using Zoho CRM as an example here, and my fix has to do with companies that are on Zoho One. All right, it's a little different if you're trying to get yourself from being locked out of individual Zoho apps, but this will cover anyone in the Zoho One suite or platform. So I'm going to start my login, and I've keyed in my password as I normally would. And then this is the screen that gets people into trouble. So it's trying to get me to set up multi-factor authentication using the Zoho OneAuth phone application, right? You put it on your iPhone or your Android, and it's a way to verify that you're the person trying to log in on your computer browser. Now, although I do think that MFA is a good idea for companies and users to turn on, it can be a little tricky. And so I'm showing you the scenario where you don't want to turn on MFA, but you get yourself stuck. So to not get yourself into this situation, always click this Remind Me Later button here that you see on the screen. Do not click the Enable MFA button in OneAuth. That will get you down the path of setting up MFA. Now, if you want to set up MFA and complete the process, that's fine. But once you click that button and get that ball rolling, you need to see it through to the end. If you just kind of X out of what you're doing, you don't really go through the process on your phone, you're going to get stuck. So always click Remind Me Later or complete the full MFA setup process. Okay, now that you know how to prevent getting locked out of your account in the future, let's go through the steps of what needs to happen in order to reset your account and gain access to your Zoho again. So first, what you're going to need is somebody else or somebody who's an administrator in your Zoho One organization. Since you are locked out of your account yourself, you're not going to be able to fix this yourself. So if it's another coworker, a Zoho partner that you work with, whoever it is, somebody that has access to your Zoho One instance as an administrator. What that administrator is going to do is go to the Zoho One homepage. Okay, one, that's one.zoho.com. That will bring up the Zoho One homepage. They will go to the gear or setup icon in the top right corner. From here, they will click on the users section on the left-hand side, and then they're going to want to click on the affected user or your user account and make the corrections. So it's pretty easy to take care of this. All that administrator has to do is open up the user properties that's been locked out and click the Reset MFA button on the top right. Now here's where some administrators get stuck. The password that it's asking for here is not the password of the user who's locked out of their account. It's the password of the administrator who's trying to make this change on the user's behalf. Okay. So, me as the administrator, I would put my password in and click the yes reset button. I'm not going to do this now on my account, but that's what you would do. And the next time the affected user goes to log in, they will not be prompted with the MFA or Zoho One Auth options. They can just log in with their regular password and they'll be good to go. Or they can also set up the MFA by following through the full process after this reset has been done. I hope this helps. Good luck.